not a lot going on today, not even in the greenhouse. I'm just drinking tea and relaxing. Reason why? Take a look outside. Well, there'll be no gardening this weekend, not with this snow. But I've just popped over to have a look how things are and to bring this foam over. Somebody gave me this foam yesterday, so I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing with it. Oh, it is cold. So I thought I'd just bring it and pop it in the greenhouse and have a general look around at what's going on. Oh, look who's here. Would you like some food? That's better. Even in the greenhouse, it's nearly -6. The water in the watering can is frozen, and even the water in the seed tray is frozen over. On a day like today, even in the greenhouse, it's just best to leave everything. Now, a few days ago I set a time-lapse camera up, so let's have a look what pictures I've got from it. Even though snow looks light and soft and fluffy, I like to take it off the greenhouse because a lot of snow can actually damage things. I've known people's fruit cages to be completely destroyed by snow. So on the greenhouse, I like to move the snow off because that's a lot easier than go in to get a new pane of glass. But I'm not the only person who has had snow. Let's have a look at some of the pictures and videos.
It's important to keep birds fed, but once you start feeding them, especially during the winter, they'll get used to where the food is, so if you suddenly stop, then they could actually die because they won't know anywhere else to get food other than your bird table. So if you start feeding them, continue to feed them, especially during the winter. On January the 26th and 27th, the RSPB are holding their Big Garden Bird Watch. Details of how you can get involved will be included at the end of this video.
It's 4 degrees, it's not that cold today. The plot looks beautiful in this winter sunshine. Now, yesterday I put an order in with the company because I have never insulated the greenhouse. I've just put things in and they've just had to take their chance. But I put an order in for some bubble wrap and surprisingly it turned up this morning. So what I'm going to do now is, I'll burn this later I think, I will take all the packing out and see exactly what I've got. These are some hooks which will come in handy when we do tomatoes later in the year. These are the bits that actually go into the roof of the greenhouse in order to hold the bubble wrap. I hope there's enough here. I think there may just be about enough. And also another thing I've got is I treated myself to a anti-frost heater. Now this heater is run by paraffin and apparently it holds so much paraffin that you don't have to change it for at least 7 days, which will be handy because I don't want to be coming down every day if I don't have to. It's a big old thing, so yes, that will be enough to keep the greenhouse. It's not going to keep it hot, but it'll just keep the frost off. So I'll sort that out later. Let's get on with the bubble wrap. I think what I'll do is I'll do this side first, because if there's not enough, what I can do is I can make a sort of curtain that can drop down there. Perfect size, just about. Oh, think I've done it. Think I've sorted it out. Holding it nicely in place. Right, another one. There's plenty of them. I don't want it to rip, although I don't think it's going to. Let me just move my tea out the way. Let's always have a cup of tea in the garden. Right, put another one there. What I'll do as well is, after I finish this, I'll put a thermometer inside this section and keep the other thermometer out here. And then we'll do a little test to see how much the bubble wrap keeps this section frost free. I think that's it. But I'm going to have to get some more because I need to do this side and the other side. And then, like I said, I'll have a piece to drop down there. But it's a good enough start anyway.
Like birds? Spend hours watching them. Do you have an hour to spare to tell us which birds are visiting your garden? Join 500,000 of us in the RSPB's Big Garden Birdwatch on the 26th and 27th of January. It's fun, free, and the whole family can join in. Well, almost.
I'm interested to see how deep the snow has been this year, so let's have a look. There's no other way of doing it than just getting my fingers in. It is 4 inches. That's cold. Well, it's late afternoon, it's about 4:30 and it's gone really cold. It's just below freezing at the moment, and I've always had what they call is a cold greenhouse. Now, a cold greenhouse is when you don't do anything to it. It's just literally a greenhouse that you put in your garden or on your allotment and don't do anything with it. Now, the next one up is a cool greenhouse where you have a bit of heat, and then it goes all the way up to a hothouse, which is where you have heating on all the year round. Now, on the allotment you can't do that. I've got this burner which you will fill with paraffin, and it'll burn for 7 days. Now, I've got the paraffin in the shed, but until I do that, I'm going to try something that a viewer sent in to me over the weekend. Now, Dave from South Shields, which is in Newcastle, has suggested to get a church candle. This cost me about £4.50, and according to the instructions, this will burn for 120 hours. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on this evening and leave it on overnight, and then come back, and then tomorrow night I will try the paraffin lamp and see what the difference is with temperature. Now, they are not going to make the greenhouse hot. It's just simply enough heat just to keep the frost at bay. Now, there's not a lot going on at the moment in the greenhouse. It's just a few seeds which you've seen me grow over the last few weeks. So this is just a simple test to see which is better, paraffin or candle. So tonight I'm going to be trying the church candle. Now, Dave has suggested to get a terracotta pot and put that over the candle. Now, my thinking behind that is, it's because there's a hole in the bottom, that will probably stop the candle from being blown out. My pot is a bit short compared to the candle. Now, I don't want to cut the candle, so what I'm going to do is, just for tonight, I'm just going to place the candle inside the terracotta pot and put it in the middle of the greenhouse, away from anything that could fall down and set the place alight, because we don't want that to happen, do we? The thermometer has been telling me over the last few days that the average temperature in this greenhouse has been about -1, -2. So I'm going to set this candle up, come back tomorrow morning, take another reading, and have a look at what the minimum temperature of this greenhouse has been overnight. So I'll see you in the morning. So it's the next day. Let's have a look how the candle's still on. The coldest it was last night was -4. So I think we can deduce from that it didn't work. So tonight I'm going to try the paraffin bottle, and we'll come back tomorrow and see how that fares. Well, it's the next day and the snow is starting to melt now, but it's making everything rather muddy, so there'll be no gardening until at least the sun comes out and dries it off. But I'm heading to the greenhouse to have a look at the paraffin lamp, and oh, it's still on. That's surprising. I thought it might have gone off. I'm impressed by that. I thought it would have burnt out. Let's go inside and shut the door. So the temperature on the greenhouse last, very impressed. 1.6 degrees was the coldest it was in the greenhouse, so it certainly did its job and kept the greenhouse frost free. Really impressed by this. Even the water is defrosted. If you remember, a few days ago the water in the seeds was frosted because it was so cold in here. That's defrosted. Really impressed by this. Really impressed. Let's hope for a bit of sunshine in the next few days and it'll melt all this snow and ice, And next week, who knows what's going to happen next week, but join me back here next week to find out what's going on my allotment garden.
Like birds? Spend hours watching them. Do you have an hour to spare to tell us which birds are visiting your garden? Join 500,000 of us in the RSPB's Big Garden Birdwatch on the 26th and 27th of January. It's fun, free, and the whole family can join in. Well, almost.